What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
Hello, everyone.
And today, Chubbz, we're going to be talking about something that me and you briefly talked about before. And it was just an interesting conversation we found ourselves having about achievements and trophies and the merit of them and whether they are like kind of this. Because you see this a lot. Like, the perfect example is like the Borderlands show guy. Like, that guy is the chubby one. He does this, he's like, I'm getting the platinum right now, and he's just like, anyone who doesn't play Flack's a noob loser, and fucking like Team Flack, and like, it's like, dude,
like a dick bag.
Like a 14-year-old girl infatuated with Twilight, frankly, is how he sounds, and it comes across as disingenuous, and it just comes across as like, oh, well, you're getting the trophies so you can open your trophies on your fucking mobile PlayStation app at work and be like, you know, and there are people that is the purpose of the trophies. And there's this sort of air among the elitist crowd where it's like, I don't even need trophies or achievements. And I've always been of two minds about this. I think you are as well. Where I don't need the achievements. And recently we purchased Risk of Rain 2 for our little sister on her PlayStation 4. And she's been playing it and unlocking trophies. And I was like, oh, so they have trophies for this on the Sony. They don't have achievements for it yet on Steam.
Right.
And I was like, but I have over 200 hours and I never felt like I needed that.
Right.
Like, just the in-game challenge and unlocking them in-game has been enough for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that the flip side of that, though, is that there's games like Rogue Legacy where I found out about the Thanatophobia trophy, which is defeat the game in 15 or less deaths. And in that game, that's a pretty insane challenge. And I never would have thought of that challenge because of how insane it is. Like, that isn't a challenge I would have made for myself. You know, like, I'm not one of those dudes who's like, I gotta be Dark Souls 3 with the fucking Rock Band guitar, bro. I gotta prove something to myself. But seeing the trophy for that put the challenge in my mind, and the developer created the trophy list. So there's this sense of like, oh, well, the developer thinks it can be done, so I'm going to try it. Right. I'm going to go for it.
And it's incentive to play it through multiple times.
Yeah.
Because at this point, when you looked at that trophy, you'd already beaten the game.
I'd already beaten the game and
that's
done. I'm looking for extra things to do within the game at that point.
Exactly. And at that point, they can be a good thing where you've beaten a game such as like The Witcher or any number of like story mode campaign games.
Yeah.
Or like those roguelike games or, you know, games where it's just side scrollers. You beat them and you don't want to be done with it. You want to play through it again, and the achievements are just sort of that little carrot on the stick of like, that's something I can look forward to doing on this next playthrough.
But then there's achievements that I hate. There's like the perfect example I would say is like the Far Cry or Assassin's Creed games with the collections. Mm-hmm. Like where you have to pick up a collectible and it's not really interesting gameplay. It's kind of a Where's Waldo sort of gameplay.
Like here's a map with a vague description.
The Riddler, and the Riddler trophies in like Arkham, which I hate, but at least there was like a puzzle associated with each one.
Yeah.
But I hate that sort of gameplay. Like that to me is annoying, boring gameplay. Like go out and scour the land and find collectibles and check a thing off a list. I like interesting ones, but I appreciate that those are there because someone else might look at that and feel the way that I did with the Thanatophobia trophy and decide to chase it, or achievement and decide to chase it, and then they in turn end up getting however many extra hours out of their investment.
Right.
So to me personally, I don't need them. Like for instance, Fallout 4. When we got that on Steam, I have over like 400 hours in that game now, not a single achievement.
Because they disabled them.
Yeah, because Bethesda decided that you could not get achievements if you used mods. And there's a mod that fixes that. I saw the mod that fixes it, and I was like, no, I don't need their achievements.
I don't care, yeah.
If they don't think that I deserve their achievements, unless I use their sanctioned fucking mods.
Right.
And I don't even know if using the In Creation Club mods work towards it either. I don't know. I don't have any of them. I don't know. But all I'm saying is like, fuck them. I don't need their achievements. At that point, they can fucking suck my dick, because half these quests are probably going to fucking break halfway through anyway.
And you're going to have to use
like
the
when
console commands
when I did give a shit about achievements, and I
Yeah.
wanted to get all the different endings of this game on the Sony,
Yeah.
it cock-blocked me.
It was on console, where
Yeah.
those console commands aren't even fucking available.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny, though?
I couldn't even finish the game.
The console commands don't work on console.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic, maybe. I don't know.
It's a little bit funny thing to think about.
Yeah. Well, especially in a game like that can fucking brick wall your playthrough on one of the faction quests. Like, of all the things you think you'd have figured out along those lines, like, you think that the main faction endings in your fucking game would be kind of a priority.
Oh yeah.
Like, side quest, sure. Like, fuck it. I don't care. This side quest is bugged out. I don't care. It's a side quest. It's not my faction ending.
Yeah.
That I've chosen, that you've put in my path to choose.
As a main ending.
Like, if the intention is that you want them to go with one of the other endings, then just don't have that ending there.
Yeah.
Like, if your other endings work, that one doesn't work, and it's getting close to ship, rip that shit out. Or fix it. One or the other. Don't fucking half-ass it. Say you fixed it in a patch, because you know that people on PC can fix it with a console command.
Or an unofficial patch that the modders release.
Yeah. But
back to the original trail. Achievements.
But I never did get that achievement.
Yeah,
because
you never
even
got
when
it.
I was able to get that quest done, which did bug out on me, which I fixed with console commands by bringing Glory back to life.
Yeah.
Of all things, respawning Glory and bringing her to the railroad prompted Desdemona to talk to me upon reloading the game. I don't know. Something I read. And I'm fucking trying to Google and figure out what the fuck. Because now I have console, I can bring people back to life.
Right.
I can do all this shit. But I still don't get it because Bethesda said, oh, you have mods that fix the bugs
that we
left in the game.
And
you don't get
fixed.
achievements. You don't get achievements
You
then.
don't get them.
You fucker. Fucking Bethesda, dude.
But that's the interesting thing is it's not like not having them is not incentive to play the game.
Yeah. Here's my thoughts at the end of the day. Is I feel like a game should be designed without trophies or achievements in mind and then have them added later. I think that's where you're going to end up with the more interesting ones.
Right.
For instance, like Axiom Verge. I platinumed that game on the PlayStation 4. And the only reason I even knew about some of those challenges that like the scanner, where you use the glitch scanner on all enemies in the game.
Right, glitch out every enemy.
Doing that, like, I that took me a while because it hadn't occurred to me to do that until I started to trophy hunt.
Yeah.
After I had finished my initial playthrough and had beaten the game. Because I tend to not even look at trophies.
Right.
Or achievements until, like, I hit that point where I feel like that's why they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at a certain point when you're looking at those, however, there's some that you're like, okay, this is dumb. It's like, for instance, in order to get the maximum, like the platinum or whatever in Dark Souls, you would have to build every weapon in the game and reinforce it with every building material in the game and then collect every sorcery, every pyromancy.
Which, by the way, is a pain in the ass because some of those are locked off behind PvP covenants.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, my first playthrough of Dark Souls, I had gone a mage cast. I was going magic because I had been directed by a guy telling me that magic was really good and it was really useful in a lot of situations. So that was what I was going my first playthrough.
Right.
I was doing that with the scimitar, switched to intellect, so it scaled with intellect, and it was a nightmare. I didn't enjoy it. My first playthrough, all I enjoyed was beating it.
Right.
But I did not enjoy my build. I did not enjoy what I had done with investing into intelligence and going magic. Like, I was like, that was not my build. That's not my... Because that's the thing. Those builds they're perfectly good. And in fact, some of them are downright overpowered.
Right.
Right? If you know how to build correctly and where to get all those things. But I just like the martial combat in Dark Souls.
Right.
I like the more, strength build versus, like, vitality and fucking... whatever endurance, whatever the stat is that increases your max equip load, like going turtling up. Like I really like that. And also like big great sword, or big two-handed hammer, like the cursed cult axe. Right? So in that game I have I can see that with these achievements it might inspire someone else who's like, oh well, it never occurred to me to go pyromancy. But now that there's this achievement, and so I see the merit in it being there. But to me, it just doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care that I don't have it. I don't give a fuck. Right? It's not something I don't want to play a pyromancer. If I wanted to play a pyromancer, I'd build a pyromancer. And I've actually done a pyromancer build in Dark Souls 1, but I did it solely to get access to that fucking witch. One of the daughters of chaos, because I wanted to hear her dialogue and everything, and I heard that the only way to get her to appear is you have to have a certain
upgrade your pyromancy flame.
So like so I did it, but even during the course of that, I didn't unlock all the pyromancy spells. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't looking at a guide telling me exactly where every pyromancy
where to
spell,
pick up all of these in the world.
And the thing about that is like I can appreciate why that's there. Someone else may sit down and play Dark Souls and get another 2-3 playthroughs out of that already amazing game because of those achievements. But I feel like when it's like, in that instance, though, I started this whole trail and I feel like it's a horrible example. But for instance, the unlock all collectibles in a game where it's just like nothing. It's just like a little collectible that you grab that's hidden throughout the world, where it's where's Waldo. It doesn't add like a note, because that's another thing why I don't even know. It's because I was playing Dark Souls earlier. That's why I trailed into the Dark Souls achievements. But like that's a horrible example. But like in Dark Souls, they have notes on the miracles too. So there's that incentive too, to find all the lore if you care to fucking, I want to get
all the items yourself and look at it yourself.
There's that extra incentive to get that story on those items, to get those achievements. So for me, I don't mind achievements. I see this like elitist attitude towards them, where if you're someone who hunts them down, you're kind of looked down on. And I feel like some of those people deserve to be looked down on, but a lot of those people I don't. Like a lot of those people I feel are just trying to dive in and dig extra gold out of their game. Get more entertainment and value out of their game. They're not hunting the trophy so that they can be like, hey, look, I got a cookie. They're hunting the trophy because they enjoy baking the cookie. If that makes sense. That analogy. And so, I mean, I don't know. This was a conversation we had once upon a time, and I was
it's a good point. It's a good point, because a lot of people have this weird idea, like if you hunt trophies, you're fucking like, you know what I mean?
Well, there's a look down on,
and it's like
you're Epeen.
And then on top of that, you have this weird group of people that hunt them down who are dickbags.
Well, it's the
like
Epeen.
That guy of the Borderlands 3 show where he's like, I'm going for the platinum, bro.
Team Flak. If you don't play Flak, you're playing Borderlands wrong. Because the only way to play Borderlands is the way that I prefer to play Borderlands. And I'd prefer to play on Flak because he's the first character I started, and he has a pet that can revive me. I can't go past Mayhem 2, though. This fucking Gearbox put their stamp of approval on that show, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
On them.
You got a couple of fucking scrub hipsty fuckies running the fucking main fucking program. But the thing is another great example, and this is something I myself am guilty of, is World of Warcraft achievement whores. Alright, some of those people went for that just so they could show it off. And I 100 fucking % did that when I played WoW towards the end. Because it was like we couldn't get into raids because it was just a stagnation near the end when we were playing, where it was like we were done with the content and there was like this weird where it was like they were releasing like hype stuff for Kata, but it was still far away. And the update hadn't quite come out yet for it. And I just went on like these achievement whore runs where I was like, oh, holiday achievements, gotta catch them all. You know, all these achievements, I gotta get them, every single one of it. And the whole purpose of that was so that I could link achievements to people. Like, in my immature brain at the time, it was like that was a point of pride.
Right.
And so I can understand the folly of this, where it's like, I wasn't doing it to get enjoyment out of the game. I was doing it because the enjoyment came from telling people about that super hard achievement. I had finally gotten it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was what was exciting to me. It wasn't the, oh my God, let's grind these mobs and for this one item that we can take back, turn into this reputation guy in order to fucking get a commendation that'll give me like 100 fucking rep or whatever amount rep. And eventually here in like 2 weeks, I'll fucking hit exalted or even revered maybe, who knows.
Right.
But I remember a lot of that sort of stuff where I wasn't enjoying that shit. Like, I'm listening to television and, like, watching things in the background of this. Like, this is monotonous, boring bullshit gameplay that I am only doing so that when I'm done with it, I can tell, like, all the people in Al chat, like, Rain and everybody, like, oh, look, I got this achievement.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dipshit kid at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and that's the kind of the way that guy comes across to me. And it's like I said, it's fine, like, we're all guilty of it, but, you know... It's just at that point, that's a personal feeling. Like, no one's going to be able to tell you, like, oh, you only hunt achievements because you want to tell me you hunt achievements, or you only hunt trophies so you can tell me you hunt trophies. It's like, the only way that you will know that is if there's, like, a certain level of attitude about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, for me, I don't think, like, most of the people I know that do go for trophies, like, hardcore, like Jeff... Fucking Ari went for trophies hardcore. I know for a fact, like, those dudes are going for those trophies because they want to get more gameplay out of a game that they're enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, like, that's how it is with almost everybody I know.
Oh, yeah.
Almost. I know a few fucking people that I would say that's not the way it is about them. But...
I'd hope the majority of people who play video games are that way.
Yeah.
You know
because,
what I mean?
well, that's, you know, and that's the thing, the glory and beautiful thing about video games is that ingrained in these systems, if it's a good video game, is it's forcing the player to make snap decisions and use critical thinking on a level that's right now, what are you going to do?
Right.
Like, where are you going to go? How are you going to proceed? You know, and that's layered. Like, for instance, Risk of Rain 2. You might just see a game that's just, oh, you kill things and then you pick up stuff and then you hit a portal and you go to the next level. I see a game where we got to balance how many things we kill because all that things we kill is going to reward us with gold. And if we're playing on monsoon difficulty, if we get too much gold in level 1 and then we check into level 2, we're going to end up with a whole bunch of more XP and everything is going to scale up with us, but we're not going to have an extra world's worth of items to compensate for all that gold that we've now just dumped into our XP pool.
Right.
So it's got to be, when you're on the planet, there's a dance back and forth of, okay, we got enough, run. Go to the next chest, open the next chest, get out of here, you know what I mean? And this is, of course, not on, like, rainfall or drizzle difficulty.
Right.
This is monsoon, where it's like every second
where it's
counts.
Frantic, you got to get going.
Yeah, but there's a level of gameplay and intricacy there that is not apparent, that you don't pick up just from viewing the game. You have to play the game, engage with the game systems to understand, oh, okay, well, I just hit the portal and I noticed that all the gold up in the corner turned into XP and my XP bar got bigger and I leveled up. So maybe I shouldn't have spaced out on the planet and, you know, killed like 10, 15 packs before moving on, because then I farmed more gold than I needed to spend. Right. And then I had all that gold on me, plus all the experience from trailing out and killing those mobs. And it's these sorts of things that they force upon the mind of someone who is getting into this hobby, legitimately getting into it and excelling at it and becoming better and playing more games and becoming better at more and more games, different variety of games, becoming better and just basically building a palette of a taste of like, okay, I don't really like that game. I don't really like that game. I like this genre more than that genre.
Right.
And I'm better at this genre because I enjoy it more. And I enjoy it more because I am better at it. And so like, if you're doing that, then the most people will be getting achievements and looking at trophies lists because they love that game so much.
Yeah.
That they want to get more entertainment, more bang for their buck, more gameplay out of that game that they do love so much. And there's always going to be the Epeens and the people that are overcompensating, but really at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just overcompensating because inside you have a hole that you don't really understand what to do with. And you're uncomfortable looking at it. And so you patch it up with all sorts of stuff and other things and everything that is, you know, and those are the type of people that like that guy running the Borderlands show. Like,
yeah.
I assure you, if you talk to him, it would be the most one-sided conversation you'd ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wouldn't be interested in what you had to say. He wouldn't be like, well, what do you think, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be more of like a, well, if we're not talking about what I want to talk about, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's why I think achievements can be good. That's why I think that they're extremely useful. Like, you know, you're done with the game, but you don't want to be done, you know.
Yeah, there's always extra things.
You constantly run into that, especially when you're falling in love with a game. You really enjoy it, and you really enjoy playing it, but you finished it and you've beaten it. You know?
There's some interesting challenges that can come from hunting those trophies and achievements.
Oh, yeah. And other games have other incentives, like The Witcher. It's like more about different story options.
Yeah, exactly.
And they do that a lot in all of these other games, but the achievements are there too as well, you know?
Yeah.
So it adds like an extra layer.
Well, there's like the achievement you get for getting headshots on enemies with the crossbow, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get that.
Yeah, never.
But I don't
that.
care because it's not. It's just
It's because I'm not particularly fond of shooting with the goddamn crossbow to begin with. Yeah. So like, why am I gonna worry about?
I'm a fucking Witcher. I'm gonna stand back and shoot him with my crossbow.
No,
I'm gonna get up there and cut off his fucking head.
Exactly.
And put it through that fucking wall. Yeah. Because I'm a witcher.
Exactly.
We ain't got no need for no witches. Anyway, that's... I feel like I've covered it as best as I can. But I wanted to talk about it because it's an interesting discussion that I think is something that is always either one-sided. Like, trophies are stupid, achievements are stupid, or I love them. I gotta have them all. I want to catch them all. But I think the majority of people within the discussion just aren't even talking about it because they don't even give a fuck about it.
Right.
Really. Like, it's like us. Like, I'm doing this video because I found us having this conversation, and I was like, it's because I see people on Twitter, like, you know, like, talk shit about, and even in WoW, there were a lot of people,
garbage fucking pool.
Well, it's just the world is a toxic garbage pool. There's awesome, bright spots of coolness, but it's all slowly getting choked out by this fucking pukey mire. It's almost like Hollow Knight. That fucking shit's just like reaching up and taking over.
Taking over, yep.
The darkness, son. But that's how I feel about it. I feel like, if anything, that's why I wanted to have this discussion. I was talking to you about it, and you were like, yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I remember we had that conversation, and you were telling me about there's a lot of games that you've gotten extra value out of looking at those. And like Enter the Gungeon, there was a bunch that you said you would chase there.
Yeah, and that game has so many things to it that I just can't find myself getting there.
Yeah, because it's so hard and in-depth.
The difficulty is really hard, and then like on top of that, the guns and how you unlock things is also really weird.
Yeah.
And it's all randomly generated.
I still have never played that.
Yeah, it's
I need to check that out at some point.
It's rough though. That's my biggest issue is like the difficulty and with how many.
I remember we were gonna play that co-op, but they did that bullshit Binding of Isaac thing
where you're not even really
even their main character. You're like, and if you are playing with them, they have
sucks.
Less health.
Yeah, because it's like the character classes have certain things that they can do.
Don't fucking do that in your co-op game.
Yeah.
Either full step the co-op or quit fucking around.
Yeah, that's why I say fuck that.
That Binding of Isaac was really disappointing because we had looked up and seen, was this co-op? Because we want to play it same screen co-op. And it said, yeah.
I ended up hopping in.
You were like a little turd that shot two poop.
Yeah, I'm like shooting pea shooters.
Because that game's all about poop.
Yeah.
And blood and poop and blood.
It's like an edgy 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's like an edgy 12-year-old poet from Seattle.
Who's also emo.
And Jim Sterling's like, best game ever made. Fuck capitalism.
And this person. Yes.
Made it specifically for Jim Sterling's crowd.
Yep.
Just so edgy, I wear a red and black top hat.
Yeah, edgy 12-year-olds.
With a fucking, what is it called? And I would normally make fun of the way a person like that, like, but he is so fucking like that person. Like, I bet you if you ever had a conversation with him, it would be like a one-sided, like, I am more important than you.
Yeah.
Like, type dude.
I am arrogant as fuck.
Yeah. We all just... I don't know, man. We all just... I love video games, and I like talking about them, and I thought this was a cool idea for us to talk about, so hope you guys enjoyed it. You done, Jim?
Yeah, that's it for us.
I'm a loudmouth fuck.
You're good?
You fucking tell them that, because they fucking say
good.
I'm a fucking son of a bitch, and I should be put a hole in ground, because I never let Chubbz talk.
No, it's true.
Alright, maybe no one said that. Maybe that's just me reading too much.
Like, everything that I said in this video is, like, literally what I had planned to say, so...
Yeah.
You know?
Alright. Love you guys. See you next time. Till then, stay safe, stay awesome, and as always, just keep doing it because you fucking love it, man.